Every person carries within them a dream, an image of the life they want, the impact they wish to create, and the legacy they hope to leave behind. We talk about goals, we write down affirmations, and we post motivational quotes. But here's the truth: most people overlook your actions, not your words, will always reveal what you truly want. Ambition isn't about what you say you'll do. It's about what you consistently choose to do when no one is watching. If someone claims they want to be successful but spends their time making excuses, avoiding hard work, or blaming others, their actions expose their real ambition. Comfort, not growth. The difference between what you say you want and what you actually do every day is the gap that defines your destiny. That's why true ambition doesn't live in speeches, dreams, or wishful thinking. It lives in habits, in effort, in persistence. Look at people who achieve greatness, not necessarily fame, but true greatness in what they do. They are rarely the loudest about their ambitions. They're the ones who wake up early, who prepare quietly, who repeat small disciplines until mastery becomes their identity. They act on what they believe in, because real ambition is silent. It's not about showing the world what you're going to do. It's about doing it so well that the world can't ignore you. The simplest way to know what someone truly wants is to observe how they spend their time. Time is the currency of ambition. Where your time goes, your priorities follow. If your time goes to distractions, your ambition is comfort. If it goes to growth, learning, and contribution, your ambition is excellence. You can't fake where your energy flows. Your actions build a story, and that story shapes how the world sees you. But more importantly, it shapes how you see yourself. Every time you choose effort over excuse, you strengthen your belief that you are capable. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you prove to yourself that you mean what you say. That's the foundation of confidence. Not praise, not luck, but the evidence created by your own consistent behavior. The real test of ambition is not in moments of motivation, but in moments of fatigue. When you're tired, frustrated, or uncertain, what you choose then reveals who you truly are. The ambitious don't stop because the path is hard. They push harder because they know every struggle is proof of progress. So stop telling people what you're going to do. Let your work tell them. Stop waiting for the right time or perfect conditions. They will never come. Begin now, act daily, and let your consistency speak louder than your promises. Because in the end, no one remembers what you planned to do. They only remember what you did. Your actions are your signature. They speak the language of your true ambition, clearly, powerfully, and without words. FEF keynotes of the speech: words declare intentions, actions reveal truth. What you do daily exposes what you genuinely value, not what you merely wish for. Ambition lives in consistency, not in motivation. True drive is shown through disciplined effort, even when inspiration fades. Time is the mirror of priorities. How you invest your time reflects the direction of your ambition. Effort builds confidence. Consistent action strengthens belief in yourself far more than external praise ever could. Results speak louder than promises. Real ambition doesn't need to be announced. It becomes visible through results that can't be ignored. When people talk about their dreams, they often use big, powerful words: success, passion, legacy, change. These words sound inspiring, but they're just the surface of something deeper. Words can declare what we intend, but they can never prove it. The real truth of who we are, what we want, and how much we're willing to sacrifice is revealed only through our actions. You can tell the world you want to achieve greatness, but if your actions show hesitation, inconsistency, or comfort seeking, the truth is already out. You don't want greatness as much as you say you do. The gap between your words and your behavior defines the authenticity of your ambition. Every person wants to be seen as driven, focused, and determined. It's natural to want to project ambition because ambition is admired. But admiration doesn't come from claiming it. It comes from demonstrating it. Think of it this way. If you say you want to become fit, but never commit to regular exercise, your actions reveal your true priority: convenience over health. If you say you want to build a business, but spend more time consuming content than creating value, your ambition isn't entrepreneurship, it's comfort in dreaming. The actions you take, no matter how small, are reflections of what you truly desire in life. Words are easy because they cost nothing. You can say you'll start tomorrow, that you're waiting for the right opportunity, or that you'll take action when things settle down. But action demands energy, discomfort, and consistency. It demands the courage to fail and the humility to learn. That's why many people talk more than they do. Talking gives them the illusion of progress without the price of commitment. Yet, the world doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you do. If you claim you're ambitious, but your daily actions don't align with that claim, you're simply rehearsing an identity you haven't yet earned. There's something powerful about silent action. People who truly believe in their goals don't need to announce every move. They channel their energy into execution, not explanation. They understand that ambition isn't about image, it's about impact. Their actions become a language that speaks louder than any declaration ever could. Over time, their work becomes undeniable proof of their intent. They don't say, "I will succeed." Their actions say, "I'm already on my way." The discipline to act even when it's inconvenient shows the strength of your ambition. It's easy to stay consistent when motivation is high, but true ambition reveals itself when motivation fades and you still choose to show up. Imagine two people, both say they want success. One works hard only when inspired. The other keeps pushing through boredom, fatigue, and doubt. Eventually, one stays where they started while the other rises to mastery. The difference isn't talent or luck. It's alignment between word and action. When your behavior reflects your declarations, you create momentum. When it doesn't, you create excuses. The world watches quietly. It listens to your promises, but pays attention to your patterns. If you repeatedly say you're going to change, but continue repeating the same behaviors, your credibility weakens. People stop listening to your words and start believing your actions because actions are honest, they're raw, transparent, and consistent indicators of what matters to you. This is why trust is built through actions, not promises. It's why leaders, creators, and changemakers earn respect not because of their vision statements, but because of the persistent action they take toward those visions. The simplest test to measure your own ambition is to compare your words with your habits. If you say you want to read more but haven't picked up a book in months, the truth isn't in your intention. It's in your inaction. If you say you want to grow professionally but spend your free time scrolling aimlessly, your real ambition is comfort, not growth. Self-honesty begins when you stop hiding behind your words and start evaluating your behavior. Change begins the moment you accept that your actions are your most honest reflection. Ambition at its core isn't a feeling, it's not a mood that comes and goes, it's a decision that manifests in repeated effort. It's what you choose to do when distractions are tempting, when results are slow, and when no one is applauding. Every decision, every routine, every small act compounds into the reality you're building. You don't need to convince anyone of your ambition, your actions will do it for you. The results of your consistency will always outshine the noise of your words. So if you truly want to measure how ambitious you are, don't listen to what you say, observe what you do. Your daily choices are a mirror of your priorities. Your persistence is a reflection of your belief in your dreams. And your willingness to act even when it's hard is the purest expression of your ambition, because in the end, words may inspire, but only actions reveal the truth. Ambition is often misunderstood as a burst of passion or a wave of inspiration that drives people to chase big goals. But the truth is, ambition is not about how motivated you feel today. It's about how consistent you remain tomorrow. And every day after that, motivation is temporary. It sparks the fire, but consistency keeps it burning. Anyone can be enthusiastic for a few days or weeks. The real challenge begins when the excitement fades, when the results are slow, and when no one is watching. That's where true ambition lies, in the discipline to continue doing what matters long after the feeling of motivation is gone. People love to set goals when they're inspired. They create vision boards, write affirmations, and share their dreams with others. But as time passes, the energy that once felt unstoppable begins to fade. The early mornings become harder, distractions become louder, and excuses become easier. This is the moment that separates those who want something from those who are willing to work for it. Because motivation can start a journey, but only consistency can finish it. True ambition is not about how loudly you talk about your goals. It's about how quietly and steadily you move toward them day after day. Discipline often feels boring compared to motivation. Motivation is emotional, it's exciting, it's thrilling, and it makes you feel unstoppable. But consistency requires you to show up even when you don't feel like it. It demands that you perform when there's no applause, no validation, and no immediate reward. It's in those moments of repetition and routine that ambition reveals its real strength. The people who achieve excellence in any field are not the ones who rely on bursts of inspiration. They are the ones who build habits that support their purpose. They understand that growth doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens through 1,000 small, deliberate steps. Think about how nature works. A tree doesn't grow overnight. It grows slowly, consistently, day after day, season after season. You can't see its progress every moment, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. The same principle applies to ambition. If you only act when you feel motivated, your growth will always be unstable, full of stops and starts. But when you commit to showing up every day, regardless of emotion, you build momentum. And momentum is far more powerful than motivation. It carries you through the hard days because you've already trained yourself to move forward no matter what. Real ambition is not measured by how big your goals are. It's measured by how consistently you take action toward them. A person who takes one small step every day will go farther than someone who takes a giant leap once and then stops. Consistency compounds. Each small action repeated over time creates exponential results. That's why so many people fail, not because they lack ambition, but because they rely too much on the feeling of motivation. They wait for the right mood, the perfect moment, or external validation before acting. But ambition doesn't wait. It moves, it adapts, it endures. You can tell when someone's ambition is genuine because they keep going even when progress is invisible. They understand that mastery is built in silence through routine, through discipline. They don't need excitement to act. They rely on commitment. They don't chase quick results. They build long-term foundations. They are driven not by emotion, but by purpose. And when their results finally show, people call them lucky or gifted, not realizing the countless unseen days of consistent effort that made it possible. The truth is, motivation will abandon you at times. You'll wake up feeling tired, discouraged, or uncertain. But if your ambition is anchored in consistency, you'll act anyway. You'll keep learning, keep refining, keep moving forward, even in silence. That is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Dreamers wait to feel ready. Doers act because they know readiness comes through doing. There will always be moments when your mind tries to convince you to stop, that it's not worth it, that it's too hard, that no one will notice. But ambition isn't about being noticed, it's about being devoted. When you commit to consistency, you build resilience. You teach yourself that effort matters more than excitement. And over time, that discipline becomes your identity. You no longer rely on the energy of motivation because you've built a rhythm that sustains you. In the end, true ambition doesn't scream or boast. It doesn't depend on perfect conditions or emotional highs. It thrives in the ordinary, in the daily act of showing up. It's found in the person who chooses effort over excuses, progress over perfection, and discipline over distraction. Because ambition that lasts is not about chasing a feeling, it's about building a habit. And that habit, repeated relentlessly, turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Time is the most honest reflection of what a person truly values. You can say that you want to grow, that you want success, that you're determined to become better. But where your time goes tells the real story. Time doesn't lie. It silently reveals your priorities, your ambitions, and your true level of commitment. Every day, each of us receives the same 24 hours, yet the difference between people who achieve excellence and those who stay stagnant lies in how those hours are invested. Some use time to build, learn, and move closer to their vision, while others waste it in distractions, comfort, or meaningless routines. The direction of your ambition can always be traced back to how you spend your time. When you pay attention to someone's schedule, you learn everything about their ambitions. A person who spends hours scrolling through social media but claims they have no time to work on their dreams isn't struggling with lack of time. They're struggling with misplaced priorities. Time is a mirror. It reflects what you value most. If you spend your time on entertainment, your ambition is relaxation. If you spend it on learning, your ambition is growth. If you spend it helping others, your ambition is contribution. No matter what we say, our calendars and routines reveal the truth we cannot hide. Many people believe ambition is something abstract, a mindset, a dream, or a feeling of desire. But in reality, ambition is practical. It shows up in your schedule, in the structure of your day, in the things you choose to give your attention to. You don't need to tell the world you want to be successful. Just look at how you spend your hours. Success or failure already exists in that pattern. Every hour you spend is a vote for the future you're creating. If you consistently give your time to activities that build you, you are voting for progress. If you consistently give it to things that drain you, you are voting for stagnation. Time is not just a resource, it's the most valuable currency you possess. Unlike money, once it's spent, it can never be earned back. That's why the truly ambitious guard their time carefully. They understand that every minute invested in the wrong direction delays the realization of their purpose. They don't treat time casually because they know it's limited. They measure their actions not by how busy they seem, but by how effective they are. They ask themselves, is this getting me closer to where I want to be? And if the answer is no, they adjust. This self-awareness is what keeps ambition alive and productive. You can often tell the difference between wishful thinking and true ambition by observing how people handle their free time. Those who are serious about growth don't waste their evenings doing things that offer no return on their goals. They might rest, but even their rest is intentional. It fuels their next effort. Their weekends might look different from others because they are invested in something larger than momentary pleasure. On the other hand, those who claim to want success, but spend their time escaping from work reveal that their ambition is comfort, not progress. What you do when you have no obligation defines what you truly want. There's also a powerful relationship between time and focus. Ambitious people don't just work more, they work better. They direct their attention with precision, cutting out distractions and shallow commitments. They know that scattered energy produces scattered results. Every focused hour compounds in value because it's aligned with a larger purpose. This alignment gives their days meaning. When you spend your time with purpose, even the smallest task feels significant because you know it's contributing to something bigger than yourself. People often say they're too busy, but being busy doesn't mean being productive. The world is full of people who fill their days with tasks that lead nowhere. Ambition isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's about replacing wasted hours with intentional ones. If you examine your time and see that most of it goes toward things that don't move you forward, you're not short on time, you're short on clarity. Clarity creates focus, and focus directs time toward growth. Without it, even long hours become meaningless. Time has a way of amplifying your choices. One day of wasted time might not seem important, but over weeks, months, and years, it builds a life of regret. Similarly, 1 hour of daily effort might feel insignificant, but over time, it transforms your entire reality. That's the quiet truth about ambition. It doesn't demand giant leaps. It asks for consistent, intentional use of time. Every moment you choose wisely adds up, and eventually the results make it obvious where your ambition truly lies. If you ever want to evaluate your life, don't ask yourself what your goals are. Ask yourself how you spend your hours. The alignment between those two answers determines your future. You can speak about dreams, visualize success, and declare your ambition to the world, but the truest evidence will always be found in your schedule. Time is the silent proof of purpose, the invisible measure of seriousness, and the ultimate test of what you truly want. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build through consistent action. Many people believe confidence comes first, that they need to feel ready, skilled, or certain before they start. But the truth is the opposite. Confidence grows only when you take action, when you prove to yourself through effort and persistence that you are capable. Each small step forward, even when you're uncertain, strengthens your belief in your own potential. Action is the foundation of self-trust, and self-trust is the root of confidence. Without action, confidence remains just an idea. When you think about confident people, it's easy to assume they have some natural advantage, a stronger personality, better opportunities, or more talent. But most of the time, their confidence is not inherited, it's earned. It comes from countless moments of effort, from doing things they were once afraid to do. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you collect evidence that you can handle challenges. That evidence becomes the fuel that builds real confidence. Talking about goals, imagining success, or waiting for the right moment won't create belief in yourself. Only consistent effort will. People often wait for confidence to appear before they act, but that waiting becomes a trap. You cannot think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. The first step is always uncomfortable because it exposes your insecurities and doubts. But when you move forward anyway, you begin to rewrite the story you tell yourself. You replace fear with experience. You start to see that progress doesn't come from perfection, but from persistence. And each time you push through fear and do something new, you prove to yourself that the limitations you believed in were never as strong as your ability to overcome them. Confidence built through effort is much stronger than confidence built through praise. Praise can disappear when people stop noticing you, but the confidence that comes from effort stays because it's rooted in your own history of growth. Every failure you've learned from, every challenge you've faced, every situation you've improved through, all of these become the foundation of your belief in yourself. This kind of confidence doesn't crumble when things go wrong because it's built on evidence, not emotion. You don't need others to validate you because your own work already has. When you take consistent action, even small progress matters. The act of showing up builds identity. Each time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you send a message to your mind, I can rely on me. Over time, that reliability becomes internal strength. You no longer depend on motivation or external reassurance to move forward. You trust your own discipline. This is why some people who appear calm under pressure aren't fearless. They simply have experience in taking action despite fear. They've built enough proof through consistent effort to know they can handle whatever comes next. The opposite is also true. When you avoid action, when you delay, hesitate, or make excuses, you weaken your confidence. You create a pattern of self-doubt because your brain learns that you can't trust your own words. You say you'll start, but you don't. You say you'll try, but you stop. And every time you do that, your self-belief erodes a little more. The only way to rebuild it is through action, through doing what you said you'd do, no matter how imperfectly. Confidence isn't about doing things flawlessly. It's about doing things consistently until they become natural. The process of building confidence through effort also teaches humility. You learn that growth takes time, that failure is part of learning, and that every expert was once a beginner. When you act repeatedly, you stop fearing mistakes because you understand they're part of the process. Each attempt, whether successful or not, moves you forward. This attitude turns effort into a habit and failure into feedback. And once you reach that stage, confidence becomes unstoppable because it's not based on avoiding mistakes, but on embracing them as part of your journey. Consistency is what transforms uncertainty into assurance. When you do something over and over, the unfamiliar becomes familiar, and what once felt impossible becomes natural. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly through repetition and patience. That's why people who appear effortlessly confident have usually spent years taking consistent action behind the scenes. Their confidence looks effortless because their effort has become instinct. It's also important to understand that confidence is contagious. When you act with conviction, you inspire others to do the same. People trust those who trust themselves. Your consistent effort not only builds your own belief, but also earns the respect and confidence of those around you. This creates opportunities, connections, and momentum that can only come from a foundation of proven effort. True confidence doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't seek attention or approval. It comes from knowing that you've earned your progress through discipline and persistence. Every act of effort, no matter how small, contributes to that foundation. Over time, your actions become undeniable proof of your capability. And when that happens, confidence is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you embody. Promises are easy to make, but results are what define you. Anyone can talk about what they plan to achieve, what goals they've set, or how committed they are to their dreams. But when the talking stops, only one thing remains: evidence. Real ambition doesn't need to be declared because it is visible in the results you create. Your results tell the world everything they need to know about your discipline, your focus, and your determination. While words express intention, results reveal execution. The two are often worlds apart, and it is the bridge between them, consistent action, that turns vision into achievement. In today's world, it's common to see people talk loudly about their goals. Social media is filled with declarations, plans, and dreams shared publicly. But saying what you will do and actually doing it are two very different things. Talking gives instant gratification. It makes you feel accomplished without requiring any effort. But action demands patience, sacrifice, and silence. That's why those who achieve remarkable results are usually not the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who work the hardest. They let their achievements speak for them quietly but powerfully. Their success becomes their statement. When your ambition is real, it doesn't crave validation. You don't need to announce your progress to prove you're working. The satisfaction comes from seeing results, not from hearing applause. Real ambition is humble. It's focused on doing the work, not on appearing ambitious. The results you produce become the voice that others listen to. People may doubt your words, but they cannot argue with your outcomes. Every result you create adds to your credibility, while every unfulfilled promise weakens it. Over time, the world learns to trust those whose results match their words. The most powerful form of communication is silent progress. When you deliver consistent results, you build a reputation that no speech can replicate. Employers trust you, peers respect you, and opportunities begin to find you because you've proven your reliability through what you do, not what you claim. Results are magnetic. They attract trust, confidence, and influence. They are the tangible proof of your ambition, the real measure of your worth in any endeavor. A single act of completion says more about you than 1,000 declarations of intent. It's easy to plan, it's easy to dream, but results require endurance. They come from the hours of unseen effort, from doing the hard work when no one is watching. They come from persistence in the face of doubt, from repeating tasks when the excitement fades. Ambitious people don't chase perfection, they chase progress. They understand that every small result adds up. They know that every step forward, even if slow, builds momentum. And once momentum is built, results begin to multiply, making their ambition visible without a single word spoken. The reason results speak louder than promises is because they reveal truth. Words can be manipulated, exaggerated, or misunderstood, but results are honest. They cannot be fake for long. If someone claims to be dedicated, but their work shows inconsistency, the truth is exposed. If someone says they're passionate but never deliver, their actions contradict their words. Results are pure evidence. They carry no bias, no excuses, and no explanations. They simply show what you've done, not what you meant to do. There's also a deeper kind of fulfillment that comes from results. When you achieve something through consistent effort, you don't just earn external recognition, you build internal satisfaction. You know you've earned your success. You've faced resistance, fought distractions, and followed through. That process shapes your character. Each result, no matter how small, reinforces your self-belief. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that you don't just talk about your goals, you act on them. And that quiet confidence becomes the fuel for even greater accomplishments. Another truth about results is that they are contagious. When others see what you've achieved, they're inspired to act. Your discipline becomes an example, your work ethic becomes a standard, and your success becomes proof that action matters more than words. In every field, education, business, art, leadership, people follow those who produce results, not because they're the loudest, but because they're the most consistent. The world listens to outcomes, not intentions. Promises might impress people for a moment, but results earn respect for a lifetime. A person who delivers, even without speaking, commands attention because reliability is rare. You can tell who truly values ambition by how they execute their vision. They don't spend time convincing others of their worth. They let their accomplishments speak. They understand that success doesn't need explanation. It only needs demonstration. When you focus on results, you stop chasing recognition and start building mastery. You begin to care more about progress than praise. Every completed task, every improvement, every milestone reached becomes a reflection of your ambition. The satisfaction of creating something real out of effort is far more rewarding than the temporary praise of promises. Because in the end, talk fades, but results remain. The world may forget what you said, but it will always remember what you did. At the end of it all, what defines you is not what you dream, declare, or desire. It's what you do. Ambition is not a word, a feeling, or a post. It is the sum of your daily actions. Every decision you make, every habit you build, every moment you choose discipline over distraction silently tells the world who you truly are. Your actions are the reflection of your inner truth. They expose your priorities, your mindset, and your level of commitment far more clearly than any promise ever could. You don't have to convince anyone of your potential. The people who achieve lasting success are not those who talk the most about their goals, but those who act on them with consistency and conviction. They understand that time is precious, that effort builds confidence, and that results are the only language ambition truly speaks. They choose to let their work define them rather than their words. So, as you move forward, remember this simple truth: your life will always mirror your actions. If you want a different result, take a different step. If you want to be known for excellence, live it daily. Because in the end, it's not the intention that matters, it's the execution. Let your actions write your story. Let your effort shape your legacy, and let your results reveal your true ambition.